Hey Geek, so when it comes to the whole world of cameras, I think a lot of people are familiar with the main brands like Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fuji. But the one name that has always stuck out, at least for content creators, is Panasonic. And I would say the name really got a lot bigger whenever the GH5 came out, and there were so many YouTube content creators that were using this camera, and I think it was well deserved. It was just an amazing camera. And with Panasonic, they always give you so many features, specifically video features, at an amazing value. But there was one thing that was always a problem with these Panasonic cameras, and it was their video autofocus. Now, I myself got into the world of the Panasonic Lumix cameras, and I couldn't afford the GH5, but I was able to get the Panasonic G85, which is what I'm using right now. And for a while, I was really happy with everything except for the video autofocus, especially being a content creator where you're shooting yourself. It just makes it so difficult for you to be able to use this. And I would say for most creators out there, it is really unusable because it is unreliable. And this is something that you really need to have work whenever you're doing these type of videos where, you're talking in front of the camera, you're showing stuff in front of you, and if you are moving around, that is really, really important to have excellent and reliable autofocus. And that is one thing that Panasonic has always struggled with for years. And I would say it is the one main thing that keeps them back and keeps them from being one of the top tier camera manufacturers. However, they finally did it. They finally introduced a phase detect hybrid autofocus system that is a combination of a new phase detect along with their previous DFD contrast-based autofocus system. And they introduced this in the Panasonic S5 II and the S5 IIX is what I have here. This is the full frame camera. And they also introduced this in the G9 II, and pretty much all cameras going forward, it is going to be using that. However, if you did have a previous Panasonic camera using this contrast-based system, is this just something that is usable and reliable? Well, we are testing this out today because I kind of feel if you are going to be moving around vlogging, then this whole automatic DFD contrast-based system, I think is still not a good system to use, and I could not rely on it. However, what if I'm doing these type of videos where it's just stationary, I'm really not moving around, just talking in front of camera or showing stuff in front of cameras? Well, that's what I'm testing today, and that's what I'm going to show you today. Because for anybody is out there who maybe doesn't want to spend a lot of money on these new cameras, even though they do have really great new autofocus systems, this is an option. Okay, and so right now I have it on, and as you can tell, it is actually tracking my face and eye. It is using the DFD autofocus system, and as you could probably tell, it works. Works way better than if I'm actually moving around and vlogging. And the one thing that you want to look for with this DFD autofocus system is this whole hunting, okay? It's looking behind you, looking in front of you, and it's using its DFD contrast-based system to see which one is in focus and based upon, I guess, the contrast level and other algorithms that it uses. But bottom line, it's almost constantly going back and forth. So this is something that I normally see whenever I'm shooting the videos. And normally I can see it on the LCD, but sometimes I can't. It's not until I bring it to my computer that I can see this really bad hunting. However, right now when it's stationary, I think it works pretty good for the most part. And about the only thing I would need to do is adjust the different autofocus settings. So right now, if you have it like tracking your face and eye, if you have objects in front of it, it might not always focus on those objects in front because it is trying to make sure your face and eye can be seen. And so if I actually go to my different autofocus settings, you'll see that the autofocus mode default is face and eye. And then they have all these other ones. They have tracking, they have 49 area, they have custom multi, and then they have one area. And typically people will use the face and eye by default or this 49 area. And the 49 area, I think it works well enough. It's just that sometimes, as you can see, it takes a little bit of time. And in other times, it doesn't really focus on the things that I want. Okay, so I'm trying to focus on this, but there's also a minimal focus distance as well. Okay, so at least I think for talking head videos, it works fine. But if you want to put objects in front of your face or near the camera all the time, they might not be the best option. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and try this other mode. Obviously, I'm not gonna use tracking because I'm not moving anything. Let me see if I could change this. And it's kind of difficult to do because I can't see what I'm pressing. So this is the custom multi-mode. And there's also autofocus area too. You could actually set the area. And I think this is good enough. And for this mode, I think it works well because it kind of keeps it focused in a single area. And as you could tell, or actually a wider single area, and you could tell it looks like it's working. But the problem is whenever I have an object off, I'm not seeing myself in focus. That is the problem, it's really unreliable. So let me see if I could try another mode. Just a single area. So that's custom multi. So here's the one area, okay. And let me see if this works. All right, it's still not focusing on me. Okay, so I kind of had to manually do that. So if I have this set, does this work better? Yeah, kind of, yeah. As long as you have it in front of you, but the problem is it doesn't focus back on my face. See, it's still like blurry, which sucks. And yep, still not 100%, but there, it went back to my face finally. So I think if you are going to be using this, then more than likely you might want to try the one area. The custom, I thought it would work good because it does cover a wider area. But as you're probably seeing, it's not as consistent. Okay, there it focused on me, and then it didn't focus back on my face. And also another mode I think that works well, and I don't think this custom works as best. And I don't think this custom area works as good as I thought. Maybe this 49 area, it works better. Okay, or kind of better. Let me see if that works. The main thing I wanted to do is once I bring an object in front, I do want it to focus on the object, but then when I'm done, I want it to go back to my face. And that's the problem. It's like not going back. That's where this whole DFD autofocus system is just pretty horrible, to be honest with you, if you are relying on this. See, like eventually it did. So who knows? This might be better. Okay. Yeah, so I think at least for what I'm seeing right now, the actual one area, the single focus area, will probably be consistently, well, as consistent as possible with this DFD system. Going to give you the best overall autofocus until it doesn't work. So I might have to move in and out. Yeah. Oh man, I was really hoping it would work better. So at least from this test, I think it can work, but as you could probably tell, once it loses you, more than likely you're going to have to manually focus again or change the settings. And so I guess in my opinion, if you do want to use this, probably not have as many things in front of you, or unfortunately just not use it and just use the manual focus system. And so that is my test on this. I was hoping for better. Some of the initial tests that I did, it looked promising, but now that I'm playing around this more, it's just more of the reason why this DFD autofocus system just sucks. And now that we have something actually better, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the autofocus, leave it on manual, and still use this camera, but only in certain settings and only for certain types of videos. So if you actually had any thoughts on this or any other ways that you're still using the DFD autofocus system from Panasonic, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my camera tutorials, tips, and tricks, I do have an entire playlist. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on another episode. Hey geeks, if you are a brand new creator and you simply want something easy to get you started, well, I got something for you with my Creator Starter Kit. This is a super simple step-by-step guide that's going to take you from having no channel to developing your very first YouTube channel, along with ideas, thumbnail designs, and other creator tips, including marketing. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and get started creating.